Hi everyone, so in my previous video I explained why it is important to use try and catch when you are coding. In this video I want to take it to a little bit advanced level. I want to talk about the general exceptions usage, how to use specific exception, how to create your own exception, how to use finally function, how to use pass function. So I will start with a small code which will throw a general exception. The code is dividing x by y, which will throw definitely an error because you cannot divide by 0. And so in this case my try and except condition is general. Let me just test it. Okay, so as you can see, the error is integer division or model by 0, but I want to know what is the specific error name. Actually error type. Let me run it now. Alright, so the specific type of the error is zero division error. So let's say I want to catch it individually. Let's say in case if I code it, I want to write division v by 0 is not allowed. And I will have else race. Just in case if it will be a different type, I still want to see the error type. Alright, let's run it now. Okay, so as you can see now, we did catch it, and we erased the output. Okay, so this is how you handle specific type of errors. Let's see that this part doesn't work. Let me change the type of error. Let's try to divide a number, an integer by a string. Okay, now we are getting type error. So this is how you are using general exception and specific exception. Let's see how you can create your own exception. Let's say that 3 will be divided by 4. 3 divided by 4, it means that the number will be smaller than 1, and it will be a float. And let's say we want to avoid it from happening. Let's add here a condition. If let's do it this way, z equals to x divided by y, if z is smaller than 1, raise exception we want to avoid float. Let's say float, okay, it doesn't matter. And by the way, I will use some trick which I'm not going to explain here, but we're dividing int by int, so it will be returned as int anyway. So I want to change, I want to cast it. Actually, it's sort of casting. I want to change it to a float number, so I'm going to multiply it by 1.0. This way it will become float. Let's see if it works now. Okay, as you can see, we got the exception. We want to avoid float. So this is how you can use your own exceptions. Alright, now let's see how you can use the finally function. Let's say that even though you have all this bunch of code, you just get rid of this part, and this part, and this one is okay. Finally, I will be printed anyway. Finally means that it doesn't matter if you try and accept code and error, it will be printed anyway. So let's test it. I will be printed anyway. Okay, so it did catch an error, which is must be old style classes or derived from base exception, not non-type. Let's go back to 0. Okay, so as you can see, this line printed even though we did catch an error. But let's say what happens when there is no error by, let's say, 3. What happened now? Oh, okay. I know why the code throws this type error. It wants me to use the old base exception. It means that I have to write here except exception. Let me run it now. Let's clear the screen. Alright, so as you can see, we try to divide 9 by 3. It throws 3, and this line printed anyway. So this is how you can use finally. Let's say you have some sort of program and you want to mention here the code was executed. Okay, so this is how you can use finally. Now let's see how you can use pass and exit. Let's say that you don't care if it will be divided by 0, but you don't want to interrupt your program if it will be divided by 0. You don't want to use if conditions, so you can use it this way. You can still catch the error, divisions error type, and you can use here pass. So let's see what happens now. Some line before the try catch, this one was printed. The code was executed. As you can see, it did not print the division and it also did not print the error type, but it still printed the finally function, and it also printed this line because we didn't interrupt the code. But let's say at this point where you catch it, the division by 0, you want to interrupt the program. Let's say we print here division by 0 is not allowed, closing the program. You can exit the code normally using I'm using 2 different ways. I'm going to import a library, a model system, and at this point I'm going to use exit code. If you want to know about exit codes, you can search it in Google. There are 4 types of codes as far as I know. In this case 2 is critical, but at this point it doesn't matter. As long as you use one of them, it will interrupt the code at this point. Let me just demonstrate it. Division by 0 is not allowed. Closing the program, the code was executed. It still prints this part of the line, but it did not reach this one. So it means it was interrupted here completely. So this is how you can use the general exceptions. This is how you use specific exceptions. In this case, we demonstrated the example on 0 division error, and how you can create your own exceptions, and how you can use finally, pass, and exit. You can find different other types of error handling in Python documentation, and I hope it helped you. See you guys in another video. Bye bye.